Um, my name is Obinna. I'm from Nigeria, and I'm a nursing major. Okay, so my question is, I'm about to turn 21, and I've been thinking a lot lately about the things that matter in my life. Because where I come from, I've lost a mom, I've lost a sister. I had two friends. I had two friends that just became orphans in the last month. I had a friend that was shot, and I had a classmate that just died, and it's been going through my mind. I've been thinking, and one of the things that I'm grateful for is the ability to be in an environment and in a country that allows me to think. And one of the things I've been thinking about is how to unlearn the things I took from where I grew up. You know, you have to be you have to be responsible. You have to have a plan for yourself. You have to get married. You just have to have a plan. And I see people, they work hard. Some of my friends, their goal in life is to become a doctor. Their goal in life is to become this and that, a lawyer, to make a change in the world. But then when I look into myself, I see that even though some would say I might be a top student, I see that I'm happiest when I'm around my family. I'm happiest when I'm having that random discussion with a stranger. I'm happy. I'm happiest when I travel to a new place. These things make me more happy than the the normal track of being born, going through school, getting a job, getting married, have kids, have grandkids, and then die. To me, it all seems like a script that people do find happiness in. But then I see that some other things matter to me more than those. But then I live in a world that I also have to follow that path to also find kind of happiness at the same time, because that's what gives you purpose, because you have to be something at the end of the day. So my question is, I'm sorry it went too long. My question is, how then do you connect these two together? How do you connect that happiness that you find in the things that actually matter to you and bring it into that scripted life that the world wants you to live? Because you are going to finish college, you are going to get a job, you probably are going to get married. And how do you connect the two so that you don't live a life that you are unhappy in, but at the same time, you kind of have to live?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I just want to give you my condolences for your friend who has recently passed away and all of the death in your family. It sounds like it's been a very difficult time for you, and I just want to take a moment to honor that pain and to say you're not alone in that pain. And there are people here who obviously care about you, and counselors and others here who can help you sort of process that, because none of us can do it alone. Secondly, I'll say that you were raised with certain values of having to succeed and having a purpose and working hard and what have you. It seems to me that you've fulfilled those values. For you to be here in Berea from Nigeria, you had to move mountains to get here. And I don't think that no one should minimize the amount of effort and courage and bravery it took for you to even be in a place where you could ask this question. So I want to just honor your journey to being here. Your third point is an important one. What is the way we connect the personal and the professional in our lives, right? How do we connect our personal values with our professional aspirations? I don't know if we ever get there. I think it's a process. We always try. Maybe we have moments of it. Maybe we get closer, but I don't know if it's like I figured it all out. I don't think we ever figure it all out. But what you talked about was true, that we live our life between these stages. If I get the right college and I get the right degree and I get the right job and I get the right spouse, then I'll have the right life. But in fact, life is happening between all those points. And as we're looking forward in the future for the next stage, we're missing the life that's happening right now. My sense is that that we do a great disservice to people in this country, especially young people, when they ask them, who do you want to be when you grow up? I see this with my daughter. What do you want? Who do you want to be when you grow up? You want to be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, whatever. I don't think that's a very helpful question, especially in your generation, which you're not going to have these 40-year career paths. You're more likely to have 5 8-year arcs than one 40-year path. You're going to do a lot of different things in your career. Your first job is just your first job. It's not your last job. It's not your career. That's different than previous generations. So instead of asking what you want to be, do I want to be a doctor? Do I want to be a lawyer? Do I want to be an engineer? Do I want to be a social worker? I would encourage you to ask yourself not what you want to be, but what you want to do. What do you want to actually do? Because it's cool to have a job with a great title. I have a cool job with a cool title, but if I didn't like the work, it wouldn't last very long. It's not the deanship that gets me to work every morning. It's the work that gets me to work every morning. We work really hard in this country, and if you don't love your work, you're not going to love your life, right? So what I would say to you is that if you ask yourself not what I want to be, but what do I want to do, you're going to start to see all sorts of opportunities open up for you. You can say, I want to be a doctor, but do you actually want to practice medicine? If not, then why do you want to be a doctor, right? You can be a lawyer, but if you don't want to actually practice law, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you want to heal people, there are a lot of ways to heal people. You don't just have to be a doctor. There are 1,000 ways you can heal people. You want to be a professor, but you might not want to teach or do research, then what's the point of being a professor? But if you want to teach and do research, there are 1,000 ways to teach and do research. You don't just have to be a professor. So when we think about what we want to do as opposed to who we want to be, I think we'll start to see other ways that we can get to that place of what we want to do. It sounds like to me what you want to do is to be in community with people. You want to change people's lives. You want to nurture them. You want to develop strong relationships. You want to be around family. Well, there's a lot of ways to do that. You can be a teacher, you can be a social worker, you can be a filmmaker, you can be run an NGO, you can do anything and still do all of that. Your opportunity is to make that work for you as opposed to you working for it. So whatever you end up doing, to bring your values into that. There's a way to be a physician where you care about others, and there's a way to be a physician where you care about the money and not so much about others. If your goal is to care about others, then you'll bring that into any job you do. So I think we have a lot of stress when we're like, I have to be this, and there's only one way to be this. But think about what you want to do, and you may want to do a lot of different things. I didn't ever say I wanted to be a professor, but I said I want to travel, I want to work with young people, I want to write, I want to learn. Oh, and I can do that as a professor. But there are other ways I could have done it. I could have done it as a journalist, I could have done it running an NGO, but it happened to work for me as a professor. But I was focused more on the doing rather than the being. And I think that's a good opportunity for you also.
Thank you very much.